Greetings to our viewers at home. Welcome back to our book reading segment known as Ufundo Lencwadi. Today we are still continuing with our book titled Memoirs of a 28-year-old Damsaka Ukubambata by Zizipho Penelope Languza Maku. Today we're going to start on chapter 5 titled High School, Music and University. High school. When I was in grade 12, I felt the pressure to pass because if I did not pass, my name would not be in the newspaper. In South Africa, when you pass matric, the last grade in high school, your name is published in the newspaper together with your final grade. That was a different level of pressure for someone who had a hard time shouting present during register. I was afraid to disappoint not only my parents and family, but myself too, and everyone else who would get their hands on that paper and look for my name and not find it. I knew that I was falling behind and I had to play catch up. It was in the last 3 years of my high school life that I had been trying to improve myself. Because not only did I begin to get the hang of the fact that I had to do better, just a mere progress on the school report was not enough. So I tried, and here and there I would get 100% for a test. Here and there I would get 79% for a subject at the end of the term, and then not get to go to prize giving because I needed 80%. But I was trying, and I was proud of myself. So, by the time I reached grade 12, I had already been playing catch up. It was a work in progress. When the time to write examinations came, I knew exactly where I stood. I was just a little above average, but I did not know if that would be enough to pass my matric or not. So, I had to up my catch-up game, and that caused so much anxiety in me. I had to make sure I pass and pass well. I thought long and hard about what would help me pass, be it extra study guides that I needed, extra classes or extra tutoring, learning how to better manage my time and break the bad habit of sleeping in the afternoon or being independent of my friends and knowing when to say, I'll stay behind or I can't come to the party, and being okay with missing out. Also, I had to find something that would keep me calm and help me relax. I thought long and hard about this. Then I remembered the towel. It had been over 10 years of not using the towel. In the 10 years, the towel would still cross my mind, but I had never thought of using it again. This time, though, when I remembered the towel, I considered using it again. More than 10 years I had not been using my towel. Now I needed it to support me, calm me, and help me focus. So I went back to using the towel. The issue was that it was no longer the towel that I had used when I was younger. I had to find another towel and adjust to it. I told my mother that I was going to be using the towel again, and she was surprisingly happy for me. We spoke on the phone because I had moved away from home to a boarding school in Boshoff in the Free State province. I think she was happy for a lot of reasons, including the fact that I was being independent and doing me. I was older and more responsible. I think she might have also felt a sense of relief because she too felt that she took a part of me away when she gave up my towel away. She was happy to see that I was reclaiming me. She'd always say, "The towel is harmless." For the first time, I did not use the towel just for fun. I used it for a purpose. I had begun to understand who I was, and I had conversations with myself about what would help me achieve the thing that I wanted to achieve, which was to pass grade 12. I had never had a conversation with myself previously because I had always passed. I knew it was not like me to not pass. I was not a top student and I was far from it, but I had always passed. However, grade 12 came with a different kind of pressure. From the speeches that my family gave me, the speeches that the principal gave, and every teacher made, to know that for as long as I have been able to think for myself, I have been a learner. I was about to end the first part of being a learner because the end of that journey meant the beginning of a new one, being a university student. However, there would never be a university student without good grades. I knew that the tower would help me relax and I had to do my part to study. It was the first week of January 2012 when the matric results came out and I had not slept the previous night. I thought I'd experienced anxiety before, but on that night before the results came out, I met the real anxiety. I almost feel it all over again just by thinking about it. That night, I thought long and hard about taking a knife and carefully cutting my heart out and placing it on the floor because it was beating so fast. I did not want to die. I just wanted to get my heart out of my body. At some point, I felt like my heart was literally itching. If I could not make it out, then I just wanted a second to scratch it. Or was it in my chest? It felt like If I could not take it out, then I just wanted a second to scratch it. Or was it my chest? It felt like a large object was sitting on it. I got up to go and relieve myself numerous times because I also thought that my bladder was acting up. I took time to pee because it was like my body had completely forgotten how to function. I did not know if I should release or suppress, or if I should push or pull. I completely lost control of my body. I also remember thinking that it was my nose. It was definitely my nose. It had to be blocked because there was hardly any oxygen coming in. I tested it by taking deep breaths in and out. My nose was fine. Nevertheless, I thought I would assist my nose to get oxygen in by opening my mouth as wide as possible so that I could get some air in. Then my whole body started itching. No, it was not the itching, but I had to scratch it because it was itching. Yes, I was losing my mind. By the time dawn came, I had not slept. I had been awake the whole night, wide awake. If I was not trying to locate what was wrong with me, I was thinking about the results. I had worked hard, but I was just so afraid to fail. The results were published in the newspaper, and because we did not have a car at home, my friend's mom was the first person to call and congratulate me. This was in the early hours of the morning. I remember it was still dark when I got the call, but I had been up preparing to get my detailed statement of results at school. The newspaper only showed the names of the students and the symbol they had passed. To get a detailed results, we had to fetch them from school. The boarding school I had attended was at least 353 kilometers away. We had rented a vehicle that would take us there and bring us back the same day. Myself and others who lived in my hometown and went to the same boarding school. We were fewer than 10 who had been in grade 12 the previous year. So I was up early to prepare for that journey when my friend's mom phoned and said she had the newspaper in her hand and my name was on there. She congratulated me and said that I had a B next to my name. Aside from the fact that I did not understand what having a B next to my name meant, I did not care about the B. My main concern was whether my name was there at all. Anything else I would deal with later. I was so excited to hear that my name was in the newspaper. This is what I had been fighting for throughout 2011. I had achieved what I wanted. On our way to school, the conversation began in the car about how others had B's next to their names. Some had A's, and there were other letters next to some of their names. I was sad that I did not get an A because an A, according to my knowledge, should mean the best mark. However, I asked around what the letters meant, particularly the A and B, and I found out that A meant the learner qualified to be admitted for a diploma, and B meant that the learner qualified to be admitted for a university degree. This meant that B was higher ranking mark. I got even more excited because not only had I passed, but I had done so well. After I passed grade 12, I put the towel away again. I did not feel the need to use the towel all the time. I knew I could use it when I needed it. I knew that I would use it again in the future, but I was done with it that time. We never went to the final performance because there were issues about the school not being registered in the competition. However, we rehearsed for months and it was difficult for me. It was difficult for me to sing in front of people. I had anxiety attacks all the time. As you can imagine, anxiety and singing did not go together. You cannot sing while feeling like there is no oxygen in the room. I wanted to sing. I loved to sing. I loved music. I would never let negative thoughts overpower me, so I persisted, even though I knew that I got anxious. I guess I thought I would overcome it with age. When I went to university, I joined the choir, but things got worse. Before I could sing well in the choir, because I felt like the spotlight was not on me, especially when I was not singing a solo. In varsity, I could be in the choir and still feel like I'm standing on the stage by myself. I think the anxiety got worse with age. I got to a point where singing alone was not an option. Then singing in the choir was not an option. Then singing in general was not an option. I do not ever imagine myself singing again. Whenever I try to speak out and explain to people that I get nervous when I must sing, they would say, "You need to be able to control the nerves." But my nerves are not your ordinary nerves. My nerves make me shake while walking up a stage to receive an award. I shake without having to say anything. I can hardly see anything because it gets blurry, and all I hear in my ears is "team." Then I am told to control my nerves and sing. My music teacher taught me not to look at people's faces as I sang, but to look just above their heads. She would say that way you won't see people's reactions and you won't be distracted by someone making a funny face. Little did she know, just the thought of being in a silent room full of people listening to me was enough to make me gasp for breath. Even the lights were off and I could not see them and they could not see me. I would still run out of breath. I have heard all sorts of tricks to get rid of the nerves, but none of them work. I do not sing anymore. I do not think I ever will. This time, the anxiety won. Viewers at home, this was the end of chapter 5 that was titled High School, Music and University. See you again on Friday with chapter 6 titled Driver's License and Driving. Continue liking and sharing the